If you've ever had a remarkable coach, mentor, or boss in your life, the kind of person who shows up with exactly the encouragement, perspective, and direction you needed, well, you know how powerful that can be. Unfortunately, not everyone has had access to leaders like that. And that's why I started this show. I'm your host, JB Bolton. I've seen firsthand what happens when great leadership comes alongside people who are trying to grow. This show is about being that kind of leader, the kind who coaches well, the kind who encourages deeply, the kind who helps others ultimately move forward. You're listening to Hey Coach. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's JB. Welcome to the first ever live edition of Hey Coach. So happy you decided to join us today. I'm pumped. I think we've got a great little episode teed up. And if you are joining us live on either YouTube or LinkedIn Live, don't hesitate to say hello in the chat, send a question. I should be able to see those coming in on my end and address those. Listen, here's how it's going to work. I am going to start by introducing our guest today. You could probably tell I'm pretty pumped about it. And we're going to get a little bit of this leader's background, and then we're going to open it up for some questions of your own. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this live, everybody's doing a podcast now, but there's not a lot of opportunity to interact with a podcast. I think I can go turn this into a podcast later, but one of the things that's compelling to me is the opportunity to be able to address questions about business, about career, and about leadership. And so that's why we set it up the way that we set it up. Listen, I'm thrilled to welcome my first guest for our launch episode here. It's someone that I not only respect as a leader, but I'm grateful to call a close friend. Today on the show, we have Kyle Kelly. He is the driving force behind Platt Furniture in Colorado Springs. This is a local business that's become really woven into the cultural and creative fabric of our city here. Kyle leads with both the heart and the hustle. And as a partner in the family business, he helps guide Platt Furniture, which is one of Colorado's largest and most beloved used furniture stores, into its next chapter. He's building on decades of tradition while innovating really in ways that bring people together and that celebrate community. And I think what makes Kyle's leadership unique isn't just his ability to steer a successful business, it's how he's broadened that business into something more like a community hub. Under his influence, the store's evolved beyond just furniture to include a vibrant underground art gallery, for example, that showcases local Colorado Springs artists, hosts monthly community events with food and music, and invites people into a space that really feels welcoming and creative. And people who walk into Platt Furniture are often struck by more than just kind of their eclectic mix of treasures. People love treasure hunting there that they have on the floor, but they also really feel a sense of belonging. And that reflects, I think, Kyle's approach to leadership. It's rooted in relationships, in community connection, and in a belief that business can be a force for good. And I'm especially glad to bring Kyle on today because all the success we talk about publicly, I've seen firsthand the ways that he quietly supports his team and he invests in people's lives, from helping employees make major life transitions to creating opportunities that most workers, never get. And I those stories don't need to be broadcast, but they absolutely do inform the way that he leads. And they've shaped the impact that he's had on the people around him. So without further ado, I hope you will help me give a warm welcome to Mr. Kyle Kelly. Kyle, good to have you with us.
Thank you so much. This is exciting. I'm pumped as well. Let's go.
So this has got to be one of the biggest, you got to be like one of the biggest used furniture stores west of Mississippi. Like, do you know? I mean, is that a stat like in your business? Like, do you know?
All I know is Colorado. Like for Colorado, we are the largest family-owned. It's all of our furniture. There's no other consigners in here. we own the store, almost 50,000 square feet of space of used and some new furniture. And so I just can only speak for Colorado.
I love it. Okay. So you might ask, why is a tech executive and a furniture executive on a leadership call together? And Kyle, I welcome your thoughts on this too. I think the best business leaders that I know, they mingle with other really good business leaders, many times in different sectors, different categories, right? And the idea is sometimes even a different scale of business or a different type of business can help you get a reframe or solve a problem that maybe you haven't thought of before. And I know, in my life, that's something that you've offered, a tremendous amount of value, I think, in just offering that perspective, right? There's kind of a cross-pollination, business and leading people. There's a lot of that translates. It translates across multiple different types of businesses and different sectors and even different scales as well. You have any opinions on that? I know you mix with a lot of other business leaders who are in different kinds of businesses too.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's being in Colorado Springs, it's gotten a lot bigger, but it's still very small. And I think it's fascinating, as we all know, we have all of our friends and people we know are in such different areas, but it comes down to so many similar versions of product, processes and how you treat people. And so for me, I always feel like I'm the least smart in the room, and I'm just trying to, look around and see, okay, how's this person treating people? What is this person's niche? And so, yeah, it's made us so much stronger and better as people in such different fields of business, you realize, oh my goodness, I can learn from any company at any time how to improve my process and treat people better.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. So I shared a little bit about, your background, obviously. But in your own words, what's the work that you're kind of most excited about right now?
Oh man. Yeah. So no, I think what I'd say is I've got one of the most, for me, exciting jobs I can imagine. If you've seen the show American Pickers, that's my life. Every day I get to go connect with people and go to unique, whether it's a house or a hotel or maybe a model home full of furniture or a store going out of business.
What's the craziest thing you've ever found? Like, what's the craziest thing you've ever found? Just give me one example, like in the last couple of years, like, oh my gosh, JB. Because when I hear American.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I get so, okay. Oh yeah, this is the best. I have an authentic giraffe head. And I'm sorry, I love animals. My wife was not happy about this, that I bought it. It was just the head of a giraffe, authentic. It was about 10 foot tall. And again, I didn't buy it. I didn't shoot it. But I mean, it was in our store. People came in to see this 10-foot giraffe head. And I'm like, this is crazy. Where else are you going to find this kind of piece?
That is amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Okay, so your day to day is American Pickers. You're excited. You love your work.
I do love it. And I think our niche, JB, too, is that most places in town, like you have an auction house, you have a consignment store. If you come see me, my main thing is I'm gonna pay you for it. I'm gonna buy these 50 items. I'm gonna pay you $10,000, pick it up. How does that sound? It's clean, it's crisp, and I think people like that as opposed to waiting to get paid. And
yeah, totally.
Get certainty of what something might sell for.
Yeah, totally. Okay. All right. Let's talk. Was there a coach or a leader, a boss, a mentor, somebody early in your life who had a real impact on you, whether it be, a positive impact or a negative impact?
Yeah, no, I think when you ask that question, the person that pops in my head most is this guy named Gus, and he was in college and kind of a mentor of mine. And what I got from him is just how you treat people. Like, that is such a big thing, is how we treat people. Yeah. And that comes, JB, from how you answer the phone.
Yep.
From when someone opens their door, what is that first impression? Once you're in the house, when a customer walks in the store, Gus was that person that he let me kind of be a part of every part of his life, whether it was at college, when he'd let me go home with him with his wife and see how he treats his family, walking around campus. And I saw this man that just loved people. And it didn't matter if you were the janitor, it didn't matter if you were the president of the university, you were treated with such love and respect. I think for me, when I saw that, I'm like, I really understood how you
Mm,
treat people
mm,
affects everything. It is
mm,
gigantic.
mm. Oh, that's good. Um, when you strip away kind of titles and jargon, yeah, and you've alluded to this already with kind of what Gus demonstrated for you, but what does great leadership actually look like to you?
Yeah. I think a lot of this obviously is from, my experience. And I would speak to my dad a lot about that is one thing I can say is my dad is consistent. Like leadership, it is leading consistently, whether you get any sleep at all, whether you're in a bad
Mm,
mood, going through a hard time. For me, it's consistency. And so
mm,
for me, like my employees know when they come into the store, they're going to get the warmest welcome. They are going to the culture at our store is you might be coming in having a bad day. You're going to come in and you're going to feel welcome. You're going to feel seen. You're going to feel loved.
yep.
And I think consistency in your behavior and your attitude is so important. And obviously from then it's leading by example.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that you've heard 100 times of yes, they're watching me take the trash out. They're watching me clean the bathrooms. They're watching me, but it's I think they can relate to that, right? They can relate to somebody that, man, this guy, no matter what, he treats me like he is so excited to see me. He's consistently that way, and he's just steady. And so
Mm.
I know that's one small part of leadership that I think has a big impact of how I do.
Mm. I sense almost like a little bit of emotion as you're telling these stories about these impactful leaders, right? Gus, your dad. Why does this matter so much to you? Like why? Like I can tell, and I know because I get to see you, outside of the scope of this live show. But why does this? Why is this? What is the driving? Why does this matter so much to you, bro?
I think that's a good question, JB. And I think what it's come down to, I've been at the store 25 years now. I'm trying to put this into the right verbiage, but what I've realized is my employees, like, they are a huge part of my purpose. It's a big deal to me how I treat my employees. It's a big deal to me how I show up for them. It's a big deal, the culture of our store that they feel they can thrive and grow and struggle. And I almost in every interview I have when interviewing someone trying to hire, I mentioned like it's a big deal to me at my funeral that not only does my family show up, but if a lot of my employees are not there at my funeral, in my opinion, I've lost a little bit
Hmm.
because I'm here 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
all the time. And if my employees are not there saying, this person changed my life,
Yep.
and I can't do it to every employee, don't get me wrong, but this is big stuff. One of my biggest callings in my life is my employees through the avenue of furniture. My mom is in Mary Kay. She'd always say, Kyle, I'm not selling Mary Kay. I'm equipping women. I'm equipping women, making them strong, independent individuals so that they can better, conquer and do good in life. That is what I'm doing. It's not about the furniture. I love furniture. It's the people though. That's the long lasting good stuff. And if I'm not touching my staff and my people, I missed it. I really believe I missed it.
Oh, it's so good. You all can see why I love spending time with this leader, man. Okay. By the way, if you are with us live and you've got a question, maybe about your business, maybe it's about leadership in general, maybe it's about your career, and you want to chat it over to us, for Kyle and I'm going to do my best to feed those as they come in to make the conversation interesting. So feel free to chat those in now, and we'll try and address them. But before we do, Kyle, I'm curious if you see yourself as a coach in your leadership role, kind of why or why not? Do you see yourself as a coach? Why or why not?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's funny. Sometimes I even daydream, and I'd always imagine like I love sports, but our family is a big sports family, and the idea of being a coach has always been a big deal to me. And I was like, man, I wonder if I should try to be, get on, do something with a basketball team and all that. And again, it shifted one day when I'm like, God, every day you're a coach because I have so many young men in
Yep.
the furniture business, right? People
Yep.
are moving furniture all day long. I got these young men, a lot of them in, of course, different situations where I get to speak into their life if they'll allow me. And so absolutely, when I see somebody kind of, act out in a way that's just some rage comes out or some pretty big anger, man, it's so nice to say, hey, breakfast tomorrow morning, it's my treat, let's talk. And when I give them that time outside of work, oh my gosh, I mean, it's between coaching, therapy, just listening, just being like, man, I see you. So absolutely. And it was so refreshing to me when I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't need to be on a sports team. I'm doing it on a used furniture store, less than 18 employees.
Totally.
I'm doing it here and I can be the best furniture coach, which again, is not about the furniture. But I love it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a coach.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So what's like, do you see a lot of people like, how much time do they spend with you? Like, is this the kind of thing where they come in and they're here for, they're there like
Yeah.
seasonally or like 6 months or like, and like, what's the
Yeah.
development trajectory look like for those folks?
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really interesting. Whenever I hire somebody, like I would say our average furniture mover is there on an average between 1 and 2 years because it's hard work, and
Yeah.
some of my upper management, that's when they'll get to the 5, 10, 15 years. But just moving furniture, it's about a year or two. It is really interesting, JB. One thing I tell them when I hire is, and again, this may be come across a little aggressive, and so I was going to be careful, but I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm here for you. And so it's always in the mornings, our morning meeting. I'm going to each one and saying, hey, how you doing, man? I see that look. How you doing? Do we need to talk? I would say half of my staff takes me up on it. Half doesn't. And
Huh.
again, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make
Yeah.
him drink.
Yeah.
So I would say half of my employees take me up on it and be like, hey, and they'll start asking me, hey, are we going to get breakfast again? But there's a part that hurts too. And when I'm like, I want to help so much more than I even am, but I can't make somebody say yes. All I can
Yeah.
do is continue to be there and be like, I see you. Hey, do we need to talk? We okay? And it is, I think you can always say there's a fine line between boss and then being that coach.
Yeah.
I think I do a pretty good job, but I mean, they know, hey, I'm there for you, but at the end of the day, you got a job to get done. And when
Yep.
we're at work, we're at work. But I got all the time in the world before you, before work, after work. So it's a balance, right?
Yep.
But I'm always finding that I wish my guys reach out to me more, but they know I'm there.
Right. Yeah. You bring up a great point, which is permission, right? I mean, I think, the people that we lead, aren't necessarily interested in taking leadership until we've got permission, right? To speak into their lives or to offer that helping hand. Maybe it's, some of them don't want help. Not everybody wants
That's
help,
true.
right? I mean, they don't, or they might be in a season where hey, I'm just, I'm maintaining. I think, one of the best ways that we earn that permission, I think, is by building trust. Right. What are some of the ways that you have found work really well building trust with your team? Like, if you got new folks that are coming in, how do you build trust with those new
Yeah.
employees?
Again, I don't want to be a broken record, but I think first of all, when some people laugh, some people come in and first think that I'm on drugs when they first get hired because I'm a pretty high energy, and they realize, okay, he's not on drugs. It's just who he is. They're like, okay, so he's continuously positive. Okay, good. He's continuously like checking in with me. How am I doing? That's good. I maybe have confided in him some smaller private things that never got out. It's like, oh, okay. So maybe some have some trust issues. I think the fact that you're going to get the same Kyle almost every day, right? I think
Yeah.
that helps my staff really trust me. And then you know what? Then they're going to ask around, like, if you're a new hire, like, is this Kyle guy for real? Like, bro, like, yes. And I mean, my mind goes to like probably two of my biggest accomplishments as a leader is that I had 2 employees that were able to buy their first homes through working here. And I was able to connect them through my good friend Kenton and the real estate, and then
Come on,
the
that's
mortgage.
incredible.
I mean, it just felt so, and when people see like, bro, he'll help you like get your credit in shape. He'll help you get your first house. Like he's got connections. He's going to help you. And then other people start hearing like, oh no, he helped this person, he helped this.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, this guy's for real. He's not just his mouth, he's for real. And I think being around 25 years full time, you're either going to know that, hey, this guy is a joke or
Yep.
this guy's for real,
Yep.
right? And I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Um, I remember, gosh, probably years ago, you started speaking in our circles, just about your changing perception of being generous. And it seemed like there was like a real, I don't know if it was a shift in your life or something, or, I know there was maybe a book or two that you read, but you had this kind of generosity, mindset. Where did that come from? Like, dude, because man, like it is hard. It is hard to stay up for the people that we lead all the time. It's hard to stay positive. It's hard every day to have the energy probably to show up and be like, how are you doing? Like sometimes I'm like, I don't care how you're doing right now. I need to go, close my office door and catch my breath before I start the day. So
Yeah.
what shaped kind of this, where did this generosity kind of principle come from for you?
No, that's a good question. Without going too long-winded, the simple version is I would say I watched my mother in life.
Hmm.
Again, being in Mary Kay, I watched how she treated people. And it was funny. My mom really showed me about wise generosity. You can be foolishly generous, and when there's a need, you just, oh, give it here, give it here, give it here. You can enable people, it can actually handicap people. And I watched my mom, like, anytime there was a need, she met it. And she started to learn, oh, I'm actually causing a little bit of pain in some of these areas. There's some wisdom to being generous. And so as I watched my mom, like in Mary Kay and our business outside, watch when I would see her give. And sometimes when she wouldn't give, I'm like, Mom, why didn't you give? Like, you know what? Let me tell you why. And so that was big. And then when I started to start working full time, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this looks like. I mean, it's fascinating. Like you hear it all the time. It's like the book of joy. There is nothing better than when you're in the right place at the right time to help give at the time that feels like, okay, this is not going to handicap. I'm not trying to save this person. I think they're ready, to partner with the person. There is just no better feeling. And so when you start just dabbling, like, I mean, it could be something as buying coffee for somebody in the morning. And then next thing you know, you're helping put a down payment on the house for somebody because there's a relationship. I mean, JB, it's like contagious. Like once you start, like the joy you get from it. And again, all of life, we're planting seeds.
Yeah.
We're either planting good seeds or we're planting some seeds that are going to grow some things in our life that we don't want to grow.
Yes.
And as I've seen that, I'm like, I want to plant some good seeds. And
Yeah.
I think we got to be wise when we're planting, whether it's our time, our money, our energy. Like you can plant a lot of those in bad areas, and you're going to see some growth in your life you don't like. Or we can try to focus a little bit more on planting some good seeds that we're going to like what happens.
Yeah. Oh man. What do you it's interesting that you have had the benefit and privilege of some really good leaders and mentors in your life. Right? I mean, you've named already your mother and your father, and a significant mentor in your life. What would you say to folks who are trying to build their leadership career, build their business, that have not had the privilege, the benefit of that sort of role model? I mean, do you have thoughts on that? Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's a
Yeah.
gift, right?
It is.
It's a gift.
This is what I would say. I would say one thing that I did good. Like let's talk about Gus in our college, is that I went out of my way to pursue this person and be like, hey, I know you're a busy man.
Like, why
I'll
did you
take-
do
I'll
that?
ta-
Why
I'll-
did you do that? Was it just
Yeah.
because of like you're watching the behavior and you're like, oh, I want
Yeah.
more of that sort of a thing? Okay. Yeah.
There was something about like, hey, you become like what you focus on, who you become like who you're hanging out with.
Right.
And it's a good question. I need to think about where exactly that came in, but it was something in my mind that was always, hey, it's if you can do two things, like as a person where you're being mentored by somebody
Yep.
and you are helping share that wisdom with people younger than you or other than you,
Yep.
like that's a good flow. And so I think I sought out, like I saw somebody I liked and I saw how they treated people and I liked
Yeah.
how they did their life, I would go and say, hey, once a month,
Yeah.
30 minutes, my treat. And okay, 10 minutes, I'll take anything.
Yeah.
I'll take it because I
Yeah.
know I have so much to learn from you. And then what's important is that the filter doesn't stop through you,
Yeah.
and we're passing it on. Like, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do with my employees is
Mm.
I am rich in relationship. That is one of my biggest blessings. A lot of it has been intentionality,
Yeah.
and a lot has been being a generous friend. I mean,
Right.
JB, if you're not a generous friend, you're not going to be rich in relationships. If
Yeah.
it's all about, hey man, I did this for you last time for you to do something for me. If we're not overly generous in our relationships, we're probably not going to be rich in relationships. And so I think that's been helpful for me is if I can be more so generous to my friends, time, energy, effort, availability, man, it's interesting how they want to show up for you too.
Totally. Totally. Dude, I think that's so good. See, like, observing, um, observing people whom you admire, whom you respect, who have an approach, or maybe a way about them or something they've accomplished that you admire or that is intriguing. You were really intentional about seeking that out. Just out of curiosity, like, what did that sound like? Is that like, hey, could we grab coffee? Like, if we have a listener that's never done that before,
Yeah.
like, what is it? Just like, hey, could we have a coffee or something? Or what's that sound
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, I remember I was so nervous. This is funny. I was so nervous when I went to talk to Gus. And I remember going to his office and being like, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I watched you. And I just told him what I liked about him. Like, I see how
Yeah.
you treat people. I just like how you are. And I just said, I know that you're busy, but I would love could you give me 30 minutes a week where I'll come to your office? And he's like, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure I have time for meetings, but I'll let you once a week. I'm gonna just have you tag along with me. Watch how I live. Let's just do life together. Let's chat and let's just walk together. And so I'm like, hey, I'll take anything. And so that's how that started. But yeah, it's vulnerable and it feels, but I think when you go to another person, man or woman, and a person, and you just say, hey, I like how you do your life.
Yeah. Yep.
Can I get any time? Can I?
Yep.
And I was so fortunate, JB, that he let me be physically with him, like walking around. He'd take me to his family's house. He'd take me to meetings.
That's cool.
Like he put me in his life. Now that was rare. But I got to see his whole life. Like part of mentorship is not just in an office. It's like, how does this guy drive? What's he like driving? Does he have road rage? What's he like in all the in-between times when he has to wait a long time at Starbucks?
Does he have road rage?
Like? He doesn't. He's chill. He's chill.
Oh, what a surprise.
He's chill. But also I saw a lot of his weaknesses, and he wasn't afraid to show me his weaknesses. And I'm like, that's a man. He knew that I had a lot to learn, but he's also willing to show me, man, where he fails. And man, that vulnerability that he was willing to give to me helps me be like, hey, Kyle, show people your weaknesses too. Show them where you're not.
Yeah.
Because if they don't see that, then you're only showing them half the picture. They got to show where you're weak as well. And that vulnerability is so important.
That's so good. I think the other thing that I advise for folks that are looking for mentorship, they're looking for somebody to learn and to grow from. Reading books is a great way to get access to somebody that you might not have access to otherwise, just to get their perspective or their thought. I think reading can be really helpful. I think we are challenged right now. I see a lot of folks who are admiring people from a distance, right? They're admiring them through the lens of social media, many times, right? And instead of engaging with a human being so that there's interaction, there's a full communication loop. And the problem is when you don't engage with a leader like that, the learning, the transfer of knowledge and emotion and the relationship and the trust and the vulnerability that's built, that doesn't exist usually over that social media space. And so the other thing I would say is, don't feel like if you're a product manager at an enterprise tech company, I'm sure you're meeting some great peers when you go to the product development conference that you and all your peers hang out at. Look for the people that are in your life, in your circle, in your neighborhood, in your community. Go to who are you, whose name keeps coming up as kind of a mover and shaker in your city. Go to your, go to a chamber of commerce thing. Go to, what about, if you have a place that you worship, right? If you're in a bowling league, like these are the just because they're not in your field, I would say if they have success that you're curious about, ask them if you can have some of their time, buy them a drink, buy them a coffee, and see what happens. And you are going to run into some cool people and build some meaningful relationships that way. It does not have to happen from a distance, or just because that person is not in your field doesn't mean that they wouldn't be a great mentor or a great teacher, a great coach for you, right? And I love that you had, and at some point you got to have the courage to step out and say, hey, could I learn from you? Hey, I'm hearing some great things. I'm seeing some great things. Would it be okay if I, bought you a coffee or walked with you to your next appointment or whatever, right? I mean, I think that's a great way to do it, a great way to reach out and do it. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you always want to have somebody in your life that's like, for lack of better words, farther than you, better than you, more than you are. Because again, all you're doing when you spend any time with them, it's elevating you, it's enlarging your vision, it's opening your eyes up more to what can be. And I think, like you said, it's got to be in different fields. If I'm just doing furniture people all the time, that's narrow,
Right.
But outside the field, you're so right. Like, again, we like what we like because it kind of reflects on what's important to us. But man, it's the customer service part. I see somebody that serves people well. I'm like, I'd love to chat with you. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get this customer service? How'd you learn to treat people the way you treat them? And I have such smart people like you in my life, my friends that are business knowledge wise. I'm like, oh my goodness, real estate, this and that. And man, it just makes you such a more rounded person when you look outside your field.
Yep. Yeah, it totally does. Okay. How do you think about developing people, Kyle? By the way, Shane says hi. Hi, Hunter. Thank you. Hunter loves what we're doing. Cool series. Excited to see where it goes. Looking forward to the conversation with Kyle. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, Hunter and Shane. Okay. How do you think about developing people? Like, do you have a kind of a framework, or how do you think about developing the people you lead? So literally helping them grow up to be more performant or to be better leaders, kind of, how do you think about that? And what's maybe a practice that, one practice that's helped you kind of do that well?
Yeah. And it's a great question. And I think I probably don't have a great formula, but let me tell you how I view it. And one of my mentors growing up, his name was Glenn. He'd always talked about, like, if people come into his life, he kind of imagines them like hopping in the river with him. And whenever that person leaves, whether it's going to a different job or just they move, his hope was that through their time together, they were much farther down the river. Now you're asking me, Kyle, how do you do that? How do you help people get, one place of the river? And when they leave, they're a more developed person, more skills, hopefully more confidence, more well-rounded. For me, I think when you sit down with each person, I mean, you can tell the second you meet somebody pretty much, hey, how's their confidence level?
Yeah.
Where are they steering clear from? So for me, it is very much a relationship, and being like, as I talk to them, ask them a lot of questions, it's pretty easy for me to be like, okay, like a lot of my guys, it's confidence. That's a big one. A lot of it is just like not feeling like, oh, I can't do that. That's too big. Kind of helping them push to the next level of owning my own house. I can never do that. Okay, let's talk about this. The words that we speak to ourselves. So for me, JB, it's like very it's more like, what do I see that I feel like I only have a certain set of strengths?
Yeah.
What do I see in their life that I'm like, okay, I can help in these two areas? And so each person, I feel like I've got each employee, I'm helping, I'm focusing on these because I feel like that's the areas that they can grow the most. And so it's just through spending time with them, asking lots of questions, watching how they interact, and then just being there to help in any way I can.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, who's influencing you right now from a leadership standpoint? Do you have kind of a handful? Like, where are you still learning and feeling kind of inspired?
It's interesting. I feel like right now it is more like I've got a guy who's in Denver. He's a furniture guy, and he's about 10 years older than I am, and so he's got a store in Denver, and he's the kind of guy that he's got multiple locations.
Yeah.
And so he's business wise, Tony's been someone, he's up in Denver at Rare Finds. He's been somebody that I continually go to because, man, he's just like this mover and shaker, and he's huge for me. So like, he's the guy that I go to talking about business ideas. He's also something that's big about working hard and playing hard. So
Yeah.
he's really stretching me out to say, hey, Kyle, if we're working this much, we got to be going big. And really, otherwise, I feel like it's more my peers. Like it's people like you, our Thursdays group, my guys, other guys group in Denver. Lots of like just sharing because we're in the same place in our mid 40s. We're at the place kind of some of us are doing some new jobs. Some of us are trying to find new meaning
Yep.
in our existing jobs. So I think a lot of it is just peer to peer right now more than it has been with another mentor at this point.
Love it. Good insight.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you, Kyle, coming in from Terry. Terry says, earlier in the show, you mentioned dealing with angry employees. This is tough for me. I am not comfortable with confrontation. What tips have worked well for you in diffusing situations where you have some employees that are upset? Thanks for the question, Terry. Okay, this is a good question. Yeah, you have, is anything come quickly to mind on this?
Yeah, it does. I've got a story that comes to mind. And so I had a guy that's still in my life. He doesn't work for me anymore, but still in my life. And man, he and this other person just, man, it brought some rage out of him. Like he was just nasty. And so I learned right then, okay, when it diffuse the situation is just separate them. But then you got to separate and probably give it 24 hours. And I just call him Joe. I'm like, Joe, let's have some breakfast. And so the next morning, he probably knew what I was going to talk to him about. But I mean, I didn't talk about the incident. I'm just like, Joe, can I tell you what I see? Yesterday, when I saw you talking to this person, man, I saw so much hurt and so much anger. And I led with vulnerability of like, man, I saw so much pain in that. And I said, could it be that this person reminds you of something in your life that caused you a lot of pain? I wasn't trying to be a counselor, just trying to be like, hey, there's a reason this person triggers you. Let's talk about what that could be. By the end of breakfast, after all you can eat biscuits and gravy, he's like, kind of reminds me of I think it was my sister and how she treated me. Okay.
Wow.
So you see your sister there. There was like an aha moment for him. But what did I do? I went in and I didn't say, hey, let's talk about your behavior. I said, bro, I see hurt. I see pain.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to go there with me? And he was willing to go there with me because I wasn't like, you need to stop doing this. You need to be nicer. You need to be better. No, you got to go to the heart, right, JB? You got to go to the stuff. Yeah. I can't make him go there, but he went there with me. He could say F you and nothing goes there. But I cared enough the next day, buy him breakfast, heart to heart, and just speak to his heart, not to his actions, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I hear a lot of empathy in that as well, which I think, when we have folks that are upset, acknowledging that they're upset, I think is so important as a leader, to acknowledge it, because I think if you don't acknowledge it, sometimes, people will escalate their behavior because they're not being acknowledged, they're not being seen or heard, or they must not be communicating effectively that they're really upset, right? So I love your empathetic approach, Terry. I would say, in addition to that, I would say, hey, I see you. I can tell this means a lot to you. I can tell this that you're very upset about it. I want to let you know I see you and I hear you. I understand that you're upset. So in the heat of that moment, I like to use the phrase, hey, I can tell this means a lot to you. I can tell this means a lot to you. I can tell this is very important to you. I can tell this is significant. You can use that for somebody, if they're sad. I think you can use that for somebody if they're mad. But if you've got somebody emoting maybe in an inappropriate way in the workplace, just start by acknowledging that behavior. That by itself will help kind of pull some of that energy out of the situation, and hopefully give you some skills to move forward. That's a good tip, Kyle. Marcus wants to know. Marcus, I don't know how to answer your question. Marcus has a bad boss. Any tips for dealing with a bad boss? Marcus, if I had you in person, I bet Kyle and I would have so many questions for you. First of all, I'm sorry you have a bad boss. That is tough. And have you ever had a bad boss, Kyle?
I've been pretty fortunate. I've had some challenging, but nothing pretty chill.
Yeah, I've had some tough situations. I've definitely had some tough situations. Maybe it's me. Maybe the common theme is me and not so much my boss. This is a tough one because it depends on whether or not the boss is asking for feedback. It depends on the kind of relationship, Marcus, that you have, I think, with that boss on how you might address. Depends on how bad you want to be there, how much you love the work, how bad the boss is. Is it just that you don't see eye to eye, or do you feel like you're being taken advantage of and not listened to? So I think there's probably a lot of qualifying questions here that go into this. Let's assume that that you think it's salvageable. I'm going to assume you think it's salvageable, or you probably wouldn't have submitted the question here, and you're wondering how to approach it. I would, and Kyle, I'll be curious kind of what your thoughts are on this. I think if I were you and I had at least a semi-decent relationship, I would probably ask for just a little bit of one-on-one time, maybe get it on the schedule. And I'd go to that boss and I'd say, listen, I care about improving our situation here, and I'd like to partner with you on how we could do that better. I think it's a good place if you move from what you are willing to do and what outcome you are after, as opposed to what is wrong with them. You're more likely to open up a conversation. And so I think I would probably, lead with that. And then, you could be vulnerable and if you've got the courage, hey, can you give me some feedback on some things that I could do to improve or to be more effective or to help us hit this goal? And then what I hope in that scenario is that your leader asks, like, what about from your perspective? What can I do to continue to improve our relationship? If they don't, you can say something like, hey, would you be open to a little bit of input from my perspective on how we could be even more effective in our work together? And then don't offer opinions, offer specific observable feedback. When I was in this meeting and brought up this idea, you responded this way and said these words, and it made me feel like this. In the future, I wonder if you wouldn't mind giving me that feedback privately instead of publicly, right? But you're talking about a specific scenario. Maybe you're even offering a solution, and you're not saying, I think you suck, or my opinion is you don't know what the hell you're doing as a leader. You're focusing it on the behavior, and you've got something specific that you're offering them. All right, I'll get off the soapbox. Kyle, you have opinions on that?
Yeah, I think the quick version is absolutely. What was his name again? Asking the question. Yeah, Marcus. So Marcus, I think it's a great question. I'd say similar to what JV said is it has got to be a one-on-one, right? It's got to be. And let's say in a meeting, you had an idea, he kind of jumped down your throat, and you're like, man, what happened there? I went through some coaching called fearless feedback. The short version of it is whatever that first sentence is to your boss when you meet with them one-on-one, that is so important. If you go in there and say, hey, the other day when you yelled at me, he's on his defense right away. Hey, the other day when you insulted me, he's on his defense. If you go in and say, hey, boss, remember the meeting when we were talking and I shared this and you had a different different approach or different thought to what we should do. Can I talk to you about that? I know, again, like JP said, I know this means a lot to you, and I obviously probably upset you. I would love to know what I could do better. I'd
Mm.
love to know, hey, how can I do better? Hey, your job's so hard. You got a lot going on. How can I be a better employee? And then if you reach out first, you do the intentionality. You're saying, hey, how can I help you? Like JB said, hopefully it comes back and full circle. But I mean, anything else, going to HR right away, that's not going to help. You know, kind of accusing him of something. It's how can I help you? I can tell you got a lot going on. I think that's the best way to try to salvage it.
Yep.
And if that doesn't go well, then you got a decision to make.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. Oh, that's great insight. I think that's really good insight. Thanks for that, Kyle. And thanks for the question, Marcus. Hopefully that helps you out. Listen, if you've got a bad boss that's doing something illegal, if you got a bad boss that's doing, something inappropriate against a code of ethics, code of conduct that your company has in place, if you are in an abusive sort of a situation, if you do have an HR department, that's probably when you need to go whistleblow and have a conversation with them. That's also, you have a decision to make about whether or not you want to continue to invest your time and energy in that as well. But in those kinds of situations, many times the behavior that's impacting you is also impacting other people inside your organization. And so in those cases, if there's something nefarious going on, and that's what you mean by bad boss, you're going to take a little bit of a different approach. And it is worth seeking some wise counsel and thoughtfully approaching that. So that you can find health and resolution. It will be good for you. It will be good for them. It will be good for other people within the organization that are being impacted by that as well. So hope that helps you. All right, Kyle, years from now, when the people you're leading and coaching today look back, what do you hope they say about you?
Yeah, man. I think simply put is that he saw me. I wasn't a number. He cared and he was fair, but yeah, he was strong. I can't be a pushover, right? But I felt seen. I think that's a simple thing. I felt seen and he helped me be a better person, right? That's what I hope that again, they're farther down the river. They're more developed, more established, more ready to, I think it's important. One thing about our job is generally, if you're in the furniture business, it's kind of like, I feel like we're a stepping stone for people. Most of our positions, besides high management, they're going to be there for less than 5 years.
Yeah.
And JB, I recognize, hey, I'm only going to get you for a short time. And if I can, this is a stepping stone. And so for me, it's like, hey, he helped me get a better job. And when I told him I had a better job, he gave me the best referral. He was so excited once I gave him notice. He didn't like say, you're leaving me. He was like so excited for my success. And I am more successful because he wanted me to do better. And I always say, JB, when I say don't burn bridges, I'm talking to myself too. Some of my employees that leave me, I could be working for them one day. Don't burn bridges either way. I tell my employees, hey, let's leave on good terms because it benefits us both.
Right.
It benefits us both. And so I want them to be like, man, he actually cared more that I succeeded than if keeping that person as an employee. Like, hey, come here. And I have people that I can help you get, what field do you want to be in? I can help you get there. Because that's what I feel like. I'm just this guy you're here in a certain part of your life. And I want to help you get to the next stage of success, of you enjoying what you do, finding your meaning, your purpose. That's what I want people to say about me.
That's so good. Okay, we're going to go off script here for a minute. How did you get into the arts and culture scene? Like, how on earth did that become a thing? Because it's like a big part of your brand. I was in a meeting this morning, and we were talking about your business. I'm like, did you know they've got an art gallery downstairs? They're bringing in local artists. They're like, oh my gosh, what? I didn't even know. It's like kind of it's almost like a speakeasy sort of a thing. But I mean, this has been a big move for your business.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm gonna go back to the core of how we got into it. And JB, like, some of my best business deals, some of my best purchases have been through my relationship with how I treat people, and then
Huh.
how that person communicates to me about the next person.
Right.
And so I had this one purchase that was, I went into this person's house, and she was a lovely lady. She was by the Cherry Creek area in Denver, and she had a house that was like, it was like a museum of
Cherry
beautiful
Creek,
furniture.
if you're not from Denver, by the way, Cherry Creek is like one of the affluent Denver neighborhoods. So it would
Yes.
be a good
And
spot
yeah,
to pick up furniture and stuff, I'm sure.
yes. Yeah, this was my best purchase in the last 25 years of my life, 48 years of flat furniture.
Mm.
How did I get that contact? Let me tell you how I got it. One of my competitors that I'm friends with, but that's a big, it's a whole other thing about making, your competitor is not your competitor. Your competitor should be your friend. He said, "Hey, Kyle, there's more than I can buy up here. Come up here." So I made a connection with this person, and the person that was selling it actually after I started dealing with them, they liked me so much. They said, "Hey, no offense, I'm just going to sell everything to you now." And he didn't. So the person had already bought a bunch. He's like, "Anything going forward, I want to work with you." I'm like, "Okay." So this person a year later called me and said, "Kyle, I got this deal." Again, it was through our relationship. It's how I treated this person, our connection, how trying to be fair in our dealings. She said, "Kyle, this person wants cash. They don't want a consignment. They don't want an auction." This one purchase, JB, shifted everything into Platt Collections, which
Wow.
is our downstairs art gallery. It all started from a relationship. It went from one purchase from a customer that just, "Hey, I had a good reputation, big cat." It was a lot of money, and we took it downstairs because it was too cool to put upstairs. It was high end stuff, and to this day, this is about 4 years ago. We've got a great art gallery that is. I mean, we just got noticed in the news last night for Black History Month, and
Hey,
some great artists.
congratulations. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you. We have tonight's first Friday of Platt Furniture downstairs, 4 to 8. But I mean, JB, almost all of my best deals have been through treating people well.
Yeah.
And of course, what do? "Oh, you got to deal with Kyle. You got to go to Platt." That's been the secret to my success. Treat people well. It's so simple, but that's how I got into the art scene.
Oh, I love it. And it's, by the way, if you haven't been and checked it out, it is a wonderful place to be. If folks want to learn more about Platt Furniture or experience, where would you send them? Do you send them online? Do you want them to walk in your door? Do you have an event
you got to come see me. I mean,
Yeah.
you can look at the cool pieces on our website, on our Platt Furniture store.
Yeah.
But man, you come in, see how you feel, see how you're welcomed, see how you're loved, see how you're treated, and then look at the cool furniture. And I mean, you got to come in. You got to come in and get you can shop online, cool. But
Yeah.
come in and say hi, because that's where you get the feel of why we're different, why we've been here for 48 years. But yeah, our website's going to show you a lot.
48,
Our
was
online
that
store is
48
best.
years? 48 years?
48. Crazy, right? Crazy.
That is significant, man. That's such a cool
I always joke, I'm in the junk business, but again, it's not junk. It's nice stuff. But I mean, it's amazing what you can do no matter what area of business you're in. I deal in used furniture, and JB, we're doing big things. We're touching
Yeah.
people. We're making
Yeah.
a difference through used furniture. I mean,
That is so awesome. Kyle, thank you thanks for the way you lead, man. I see this generosity in you. It inspires me. I get to hear the stories behind the scenes of, the things we didn't get to talk about today in terms of the way that you impact others, on behalf of the people that you've led and the people that you've inspired. Thank you for your work and for setting a standard and for inspiring us and for being part of the show today too, man. It's been awesome to have you.
thank you. Oh, I loved it. Thanks for it. This is so fun to share, right? I love it. Thanks for letting me be a part.
It's great. Thanks to those of you who asked questions as well. This is the inaugural launch of Hey Coach. We'd welcome your feedback, so send it our way. If you've got questions that didn't get answered, maybe we'll be able to pick them up in another episode. And if you've got a guest or a leader that's really inspiring to you that you'd love to see hosted, don't hesitate to reach out. Kyle, I did not know this when I scheduled this, but today, this is crazy to me. Today is the 3-year anniversary of my closing out my season as a tech executive and choosing to start a leadership development company. Like, this is the 3-year anniversary, and I didn't even realize. So how crazy is that? I was looking at the
That
date.
is crazy. 3 years today.
Yeah.
Wow. That's significant. That's
Yes.
meaningful.
It feels significant to me, and it feels significant to have you on here. Kyle, thank you for your time. We're going to let you get back to doing what you're doing. Aren't you spending some time with the mentor that you mentioned today? Isn't that a thing
His 70th birthday party.
What?
We're all getting together to honor him this weekend, and that's what it's all about. It's going to be such a rich weekend of just fun, laughter, and just thanking a man that just made us all better.
That's so awesome. All right, Kyle, thank you again. We wish you well, and thanks for joining us, man.
All right, man. Love you guys.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. What a gift to have you on board. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're gonna meet some interesting people. You're going to hear some interesting perspective. I'm sure we're going to get some interesting questions. I may be able to build in the opportunity to actually have some of the questions come in live. I think that would be a really cool thing to do as well. In the meantime, thank you for the work that you are doing to grow as a leader, to inspire and care for and serve the people that you are leading well. I always wondered when I was in my 20s what it was like to be in the room where the decisions were made, where the strategic leadership decisions were made. And my heart here is to invite you into that room and to give you a space to engage and learn from some interesting folks. And it's fun too, because if you are, if you happen to be the only person that's in, you get to ask your own questions. You get a personal powwow when you come in and do that. So we're going to run this every other Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain. Right now it streams on YouTube and on LinkedIn Live. And so you can look for those future events to be set up. You can subscribe to them as well so that you get alerts when they go live. And we'll probably have the recordings posted up as well. Thank you again for joining us for the very first edition of Hey Coach. I'm your host, JB Bolton.